This is the introduction video for Chapter 16, Life in the West. Alright, when we're talking about the West, we're talking about everywhere on that map that is not in the green, or to the left of the green. So the Louisiana Purchase, the Texas Annexation, the Mexican Cession Land, and the Oregon Country. In this chapter, we're mainly going to focus on the Louisiana Purchase area, the Oregon Country, and the Mexican Cession Land. Throughout the chapter, we're going to go over the different groups of explorers that explore these regions, and the reasons why they were exploring them. The vast region, called the West, stretches from the Mississippi River all the way over to the Pacific Ocean. And it's one of the most extraordinary landscapes on Earth. Tourists come from all over to see its mountains, canyons, deserts, and plains. The American settlers east of the Mississippi River, or in the green area on the map, this great expanse of grasslands, mountains, and deserts was the West. For all its beauty, the West was a challenging environment. Look at the names that the settlers gave to its features. Where else in the United States can you find a mountain range called the Crazies, a scorching desert named Death Valley, a blood-red canyon called Flaming Gorge, or a raging river known as the River of No Return? The major obstacle in this area was the mountains. All these explorers had to cross over the Rocky Mountains, which were a lot larger than the Appalachians they were used to. The less than essential question you need to keep in mind during this entire chapter is, what were the motives, hardships, and legacies of the groups that moved west in the 1800s? So as you read about each group, think about what was motivating them to go, what hardships they had to overcome as they went, and what legacies, what did they do that would impact future generations of Americans in that area? Your interactive packets are a little different this time. So let's go over what each section in your packet should contain. Now the front of your packet is the pacing guide still, broken down by section and what the dates that those sections should be done. Remember, there's a spot you can check off each time you finish the section. Now in each section, there is a scale at the top that you need to date before and after you complete the section. There's the vocabulary you need to know for the section, and the section notebook questions you need to cover. You need to complete all of this in order to complete the section before moving on to the next one. And remember, always go back and remark yourself on the scale after you've worked in the section. Okay, the last thing we need to cover is the preview assignment. You should all have one of these handouts in front of you, and it needs to be turned in today, or as soon as you get it completed, but you need to turn it in before you turn in the packet. The first thing you need to do is you need to label the 4 blank boxes on the map. After you've done that, you need to watch the video that is following this lecture and answer these 6 questions. After you've done this, you make sure you put your name on it and turn it in.
Even for the government. 1803, 27 years after independence. The single biggest real estate deal in history. President Thomas Jefferson buys the vast Louisiana territories from Napoleon. 500 million acres for 3 cents an acre. Just as America will one day go to the moon, now a mission into this unknown.
Lewis and Clark want to see what's on the other side. Given a mountain, we want to climb it. We hold those venturers of the past in great admiration.
May 1804. A presidential aide and a junior army officer set out on a mapping expedition. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark's journey is about to become one of the most epic tales of survival in American history. The Rockies. Unknown, mythical, even woolly mammoth are fabled to roam here. Treacherous, too. No one expects the Rockies to be 90 separate mountain ranges, 3,000 miles long. caught in a death trap. After 2 weeks, starvation sets in. They eat any plants they can find. Next, they eat their horses. The expedition is given up as dead. But they survive, and they owe their survival to a 16-year-old Native American girl. Sacagawea of the Shoshone Nation guides them, finds wild food, and saves their precious million-word journals from an overturned canoe. In 1805, William Clark notes in his journal, "Ocean in view. Oh, the joy." They are the first new Americans to reach the Pacific Ocean over land. Lewis and Clark's remarkable expedition discovers 300 species of wildlife, transforming science and agriculture. But their journals record an even greater discovery, one that will forge a whole new breed of American heroes. America, East and West. The pioneering spirit of Americans has busted the continent wide open. Lewis and Clark's heroic expedition through the Rockies uncovers a route to the West's most valuable commodity: beaver. Their pelts, frontier hard currency, traded by Native Americans for guns, knives, salt, and they're a high-fashion luxury for the rich. They've been hunted nearly to extinction in Europe. Here, they're everywhere, millions of them. The freezing Rocky Mountain water makes the beaver pelts thicker, warmer, more expensive than other fur. New iron traps from New York foundries make catching them easier. Baited with the beaver's own scent glands, they're drawn to their death.